They called it a test, a demonstration of dominance before the Galactic Council. An 8-year-old human girl, alone, terrified, was dropped into a glass arena under twin suns. Across from her, a creature unlike any in the known sectors, an albino apex wolf from the Frost Moons of Karth. Bred for slaughter, engineered to kill, the overlords expected screams. But what they got was silence. The beast sniffed the child once, then lowered its head and curled around her like a guardian, daring anyone to come closer. And that's when the galaxy learned what human really meant. If that opening gave you chills, you're in the right place. Hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell, because in today's story, we're diving into one of the most shocking moments in HFY history. A tale of fear, instinct, and a bond that defied every law of the galaxy. All right? Let's step into the arena. It started as a spectacle. The Galactic Overlords called it the Trial of Species, a televised show of dominance to remind every race that resistance was pointless. Billions tuned in from orbiting stations, holographic projectors humming in every corner of the Empire. Humans were new to the interstellar stage then, bold, unpredictable, and, in the eyes of the Council, far too proud. So they picked the smallest, weakest representative they could find, an Earth child, 8 years old. Her name, whispered later in songs and rebellions, was Lila. To the overlords, it was a message. This is what happens when humans forget their place. They didn't realize they were writing the first line of their downfall. The council chamber crackled with arrogance. The announcer's voice boomed across the Colosseum. "Behold, the creature that devours worlds, the albino apex of Karth, let it feast upon the human!" Metal gates hissed open. The air went still. Even the spectators held their breath. Somewhere deep in the crowd, a lone voice murmured, "She's just a child." But no one dared to interrupt the Overlord's theater, because mercy, in their galaxy, was considered weakness. Lila didn't cry. Not when the glass floor vibrated beneath her feet. Not when the scent of metal and ozone filled her nose. Not even when the crowd's roar echoed through the dome like thunder. She just stood there, small, barefoot, her brown hair tangled, her wide eyes reflecting the beast's cage. The camera zoomed in on her face, searching for fear. They found something else. Stillness. She tilted her head, curious, as if she were watching a storm she'd already accepted. The galactic commentators whispered in confusion. "Why isn't it screaming? Has it gone into shock?" But Lila's calm wasn't numbness. It was instinct. Her father used to say, "Animals don't hate. They react to what you show them." And right now, she showed nothing but quiet. When the gates began to rise and the albino apex's breath fogged the air, Lila didn't move back. She crouched, small, steady, unafraid, and whispered something no translator could quite catch. The beast paused. Its eyes, silver and sharp, locked onto hers. And for the first time in its life, the predator hesitated. Something ancient, wordless, had passed between them. It was the galaxy's deadliest creature, a pale mountain of muscle and fur with eyes like liquid mercury and fangs that could pierce starship hulls. The albino apex of Karth was born in cryo-wombs, trained to hunt through radiation storms, and fed on entire herds during its blood trials. When it stepped into the arena, the world seemed to shrink around it. Each breath carried a low growl, more vibration than sound. Every living thing knew. This was death made flesh. And yet, it didn't pounce. The apex lowered its head, nostrils flaring, studying the tiny human before it. The overlords barked through the comms. "Command it! End the trial!" But the creature didn't obey. It took one heavy step forward, then another, until its shadow covered the girl. The crowd leaned in, hungry for the kill. Instead, the wolf's body moved differently, slower. It exhaled, circled once, and collapsed beside her with a rumbling sigh. Its enormous tail brushed across the glass floor, gently curling around her like a shield. Gasps filled the chamber. The overlord shouted, "Glitch! Reset the control chip!" But the truth was simpler. The beast wasn't malfunctioning. It was choosing. The arena fell into stunned silence. Billions of eyes watched, breathless, as an apex predator, the pride of the overlords, curled protectively around a fragile human child. Lila didn't flinch. She reached out, slow and gentle, her tiny hand brushing against the beast's muzzle. It didn't snarl. It closed its eyes. A low, thunderous hum rolled from its chest, not a growl, but something like a purr. The scientists screamed into their comms, demanding neural overrides. "The control signals aren't working," one shouted. "It's ignoring commands." Every pulse of the apex's heart echoed across the arena speakers. And somewhere deep inside the creature's bioengineered mind, something cracked. The code that told it what to fear, what to kill, who to obey. The overlords built it to be loyal to no one. Yet here it was, breaking every rule, choosing a human. Lila whispered again, something soft, maybe a lullaby, maybe just a word. The apex pressed its head against her shoulder, like a creature that remembered an old truth older than stars. Trust must be earned, not forced. In that moment, predator and prey became allies, and the galaxy began to question who the real beasts were. Chaos erupted in the control room. The overlords shouted, slamming claws against holographic consoles as security drones swarmed the arena. But the albino apex rose, towering over Lila like a living wall of white fury. Every drone that approached met a flash of teeth and metal torn apart midair. And the child? She didn't scream. She simply stood beneath the beast's shadow, her hand resting on its fur, calm, certain, untouchable. The galaxy watched as one truth unfolded. The humans weren't weak. They were something the overlords had never understood, unpredictable, empathetic, alive in ways machines could never program. The council tried to end the feed, but it was too late. Billions had seen it. A creature of pure destruction kneeling to a human child. A moment that rewrote what power meant. Days later, rebellions began across the systems. Whispered words spread. If a human child can tame the galaxy's deadliest predator, what can the rest of them do? Historians would later name that event the Turning of Karth. And from that day forward, every world remembered one unshakable lesson. You can dominate a species with fear, but you can never conquer the human heart.